Now look, sir, I understand your problem with all these things. I do. But this bread tax that you keep sending to the office has to stop. We are not paying $53,000 for rye bread.
Well, you know what you should be paying for though, right?
No, just 3 cents. God damn it!
I don't know.
53K would be okay for Italian loaf, though.
For Italian, yes, but this is rye bread. Do I look
Rye
like a
bread's
peasant
only
to you?
Yeah, unless you're doing a rye boat, rye bread's just not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck this.
And I hate that shit is seasonal. Unless you know the recipe by heart, you can't find rye bread like that. And it's like, bitch, I have the munchies now. I don't drink during football. I don't watch football. I'm doing a drunk thing today. Give me a rye boat.
Stuck in my past, about to relapse. I keep running back to you.
Anyway, aside from my anger about the bread tax, damn you Danish imports! Welcome back everyone to What Grinds Our Gears, the podcast ran by crazy family members every day, every part of the day, although you guys only hear about this once a week because we're magic. Anyway, we are missing two people that are currently sick right now. I blame this summer cold, but you always have me because by contract and popular demand I'm not allowed to leave anymore. Your sex doctor of the whole year round. I got my whole sex ed video set for August, so I got you. Everybody knows me as V. Also joining me, of course, is the newest members of God Hand alongside Femto, Void, Sane, and the other two I don't care about, and Femto, are the couples of Dark Destruction with two demon beings in the form of cats and a giant legion that I saw enslaving humanity not that long ago, unless that was just Pittsburgh, is Shweebe and Phoenix!
Oh, my scores are terrible.
And last but never least, we have the mistress of all artwork, the person that has conquered sin, vanquished Sephiroth, and has brought forth peace to multi-dimensions in the name of Goddess Cosmos herself. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Britt.
Yup.
Would you all believe I get paid $1 to do all these intros? Anyway, why am I bringing up Final Fantasy when it comes to Brit? Well, guys, that's because we're talking Final Fantasy today.
Woo! Don't put that in.
Now, does anyone want to go over the history of Final Fantasy before we get started?
I don't even know the history. I was like dropped right dead in the middle of it.
I got a little bit.
Shweebe was like a little baby, just dropped in the middle of nowhere and be like, you raise
like,
him.
What is this new magical world? Oh my god, giant chicken things! Ah!
Originally, Final Fantasy was supposed to be called Final Fighting.
I remember you telling me about that.
However, due to the fact that there is actually a game out there that was released the same year called Final Fight, the creators changed the name, and it has been history ever since.
Oh, that's not the complete history.
No, that's just a little tidbit from the intro.
Yeah. But Final Fantasy, as you guys can probably tell, besides the whole final fighting thing, is the fact that this was supposed to be Square Enix's final production because they were going through bankruptcy at the time that they were making the video game, and they were just like, oh, well, we got nothing better to do, so anyone ever play Dungeons and Dragons? No. Yes. I mean, no. And basically created the Warriors of Light and Garland to create the eternal cycle of good versus evil and light and dark and all that shit by introducing chaos, but only alluding to the goddess of light that we all know as Cosmos thanks to Dissidia on the PSP. Ever since then, it's been branching out for generation upon generation of games, but then just finally getting popularity in America enough to get the 6th game being the 3rd game, the 4th game technically being the 2nd game, and we just get a clusterfuck until the Anthology series comes out on the PlayStation 1, and we've been stuck with Final Fantasy Mania, where we get cosplays, we get a lot of people making sexual artwork about it for decades on end, and you will not believe the fan fictions I read. So many fan fictions.
You wouldn't think
There is a lot.
that freaking popular, but
Really?
a lot of people like him to tie her up. Just saying.
Kefka. Okay.
Kefka.
That laugh, it will be forever known.
So anyway, before I go into my whole spiel, I'm gonna give the floor to the ladies. Shweebes, Britt, your experiences with Final Fantasy.
Well, Britt,
amazing.
please go ahead and be the first. Go ahead.
Alrighty. Let's see. My first Final Fantasy game was 10, and I remember watching one of my cousins playing it, and I was like, wow, these graphics are amazing. This is like when I was like maybe 11 or 12. I don't remember my age really. But that one really is what set me off into playing it. And then I played 10-2, which wasn't really that much better. I mean, in a way, it was like just the way its design and layout was kind of like, it was like Ocarina of Time to like Majora's Mask Ocarina of Time kind of thing, because it's the same map and same characters, just a different fighting thing. But that was all right. And then I played 12 and 13. 12 I think I might have liked the best out of the ones that I played. And currently on my channel, I'm playing Final Fantasy 7. I've never played it before because I never got to own it when I was a kid. So they had it like for $5 on Steam, which was great. So I'm enjoying the game so far.
What
Yes,
are you
Phoenix.
thinking about?
I have a very, very strong,
No. Oh,
Passionate.
wait. I know.
passionate dislike
I
of
don't know
7.
why it took me a second to realize what you were about to say. Be quiet.
So I love that the only way that she ever played it was because it was for $5. That's like going,
Yes.
what, the only reason I ever watch this movie is because it's in the $1 bin at Walmart.
Hey, don't
I
point
had-
out the
I
only
had
reason
no
I watched
idea
the
that-
Emoji Movie, okay?
Oh God.
I don't own
It
a
was on
PS4.
Netflix.
I
I
heard
still
that you
freak
can get it
out.
on the PS4 network or a PS network or something like that. And I was like, I don't have a PS4. I have an Xbox. So, evolution. I know. After like 20, I think it was 21 years is when the game came out. Yeah, it came out in 97.
It's old
Final
enough to
Fantasy
drink
7.
now.
Yeah, I know, right? I was like, wow, I waited this long to play this stupid game. And I was like, all right. It's very interesting though. It like my first turn-based game that was like that was Legend of Dragoon. So I had that, but never got hands on Final Fantasy VII. And by the time it was even maybe possibly close to my hands was when I guess Texas banned it or influenced other states to ban it because of the terrorism at the time, 2001 or whatever.
September 11th, 2001, banning of most things that had imagery of the Twin Towers.
Oh yeah.
I remember that year very well.
I wasn't in New York. I know I was in Alabama. Well, you know what? We're not talking about that. We're talking about Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is supposed to be a happy podcast.
Shut up.
We're gonna step back now.
Uh-huh. All right. Was there more you wanted to add to that, Britt, though?
No, that's basically all I got about Final
Okay.
Fantasy on my part.
All right.
So go ahead.
Okay. I will take the floor. The whole floor, nothing but the floor.
Woo!
All right. So what I didn't realize until years later was I technically played my first Final Fantasy on SNES. It was Mystic Quest. So that was my first introduction to like JRPG stuff and leveling up. A very basic storyline. I beat it. I think I was like 11, 10, pretty young. But, you know, glossed over that. My first actual Final Fantasy that had the name Final Fantasy on it was 10 as well. I fell in love with that. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. This is what graphics are nowadays. We're living in the future. And much like what Britt said with 10-2, 10-2 at the time I thought was kind of cool. Looking back on it now, I like it, but I don't like it.
Stripper fantasy.
Well, I could care less about that, honestly. They are very attractive women. That's fine.
They were nice
the class
ladies.
changes. Like their whole outfits would change, and they were different classes. Like, oh, that's so cool because I'd never played a game like that before. What I hated was the fucking Charlie's Angels bullshit in it, and I'm like, what does this got to do with the first fucking game?
That's why I call it stripper fantasy. Nothing really makes sense for strippers.
I know. And then I hate what they did to Blitzball in the second game because I couldn't figure out.
Oh, me too.
And then Sphere Break, fuck that game into the ground. I can't beat it. I'm not mathematically inclined at all. I've just never gotten it. So
math is the work of the devil.
I know. And then from there, I wound up getting 9, but something happened to the disc. So when I went from the first disc to the second disc, something got corrupted and broken, so I never got to finish that. I played a little bit of 12, but I got so lost in the game, I never finished it, so I really don't have a yay or nay for that one. I played 13 and 13-2. I really enjoyed 13. They should have just left it there. 13-2 was fine, would have been perfect if it was a separate game. 13-3, I both like, but I hate more with a passion because it's timed, and I am too much of an anxious person to play something like that. And 15, I've played a little bit of. I like it, but I've not beaten it, so still no year.
I've been wanting to get my hands on the
6 on the channel.
We started 6.
Yeah, so that's been kind of cool.
We're about to meet the returners, so that's how far in we are.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I've not played any of those.
So we haven't gotten fucking anywhere in 6. That's how far we.
And we streamed for like what, 4 or 5 hours?
That's barely scratching the surface of 6.
6. Oh my goodness. And here's the thing. I tried to tell her that 15 is literally the skeleton of 6.
It is.
A little bit of extra.
Minus anything to do with suplexing a train.
God, I have to do that during the fight just to show her how stupid that is.
You're gonna suplex?
Yeah, Sabin. His special technique he can learn is suplexing. He will grab and backslam the enemy. There's a boss you fight.
Train.
Yeah, there's a boss fight called Ghost Train. He will literally suplex the train.
Wait. Pause. 2 words there that don't make fucking sense. Ghost being the first one, and then it's a train.
Yes.
Train that leads the souls to the afterlife.
How is he touching it? How is he suplexing it?
Better question is, why is he
magical
on
arms
in front of it running from it?
Wait, does that mean he turns around and he goes suplex?
Shweebes.
Yeah.
Shweebes. Don't trust yourself.
I can't help it. Wait, does that happen in 15?
It happens in no.
Damn.
No.
I won't give it away.
Amazing in 15.
I will not give it away.
Callback possible.
No, I want to see them do it to the ship out on the docks.
Oh, that.
I want them to suplex the ship. It'd have to be Gladdy. What's his name?
Gladios.
Gladios? It's been so long. I need to play that game. I need to actually
Get somewhere with that game?
Yeah, I do.
I told you I'll be your coach. Just put me on the mic. I got you. I got the game. We can co-tag team this bitch.
Yeah.
Okay, so we did start 6. That's the thing. Okay, my turn. My turn to my history of Final Fantasy.
The ladies are done, so go ahead.
Yeah.
All right. Vinny, you okay if I go first?
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure which one of us has more extensive history on this.
I feel like we both have had like a long discussion going back and forth, so I think we're both equally leveled on knowledge.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Give me that.
As far as it goes, my first game I played was Final Fantasy IV. Technically, it was the SNES, so it was Final Fantasy II. Loved that game, absolutely. To this day, still love that game. And I also love that every now and again they'll make a callback to it. The fight scene between Cecil and himself. They'll do that in other games now, where the entire point of the fight is not to actually attack at all. If you become an aggressor, you get destroyed for the fuck all reason of it. But if you spend 3 or 4 turns not attacking, you win the fight. But moving on. Yeah. Bless you. From 2, I ended up moving on to Mystic Quest, which I had a blast with. Again, like Shweebe said, very simple game, very, very generic. but a lot of fun.
Even then, as a kid, looking back on it, never leveled up properly.
No, you
I
didn't.
got to the final boss.
No, you
I magically found out, because I went to cure What's-Her-Tits face, missed and hit the boss and realized that it did so much damage. And I was like, oh, ooh, cure, dead, yes, ha ha ha.
Yeah, final boss of the game is an undead. You can cast life on him, instant win the game.
Yeah, didn't know that. It was so random. I was like, oh, I learned something. Sorry, go ahead.
Here's the first and last time they used a zombie boss for the main boss of a game.
For the main boss. There have been many zombie bosses in Final Fantasy.
They do have a
Final
zombie
Fantasy
boss in
X,
10. That
the
big,
dragon.
The wyvern shit that shows up in the water. That, again, was another accident one, because I stopped and thought about it when I was fighting it my first time.
Are you going to let me go through my
No,
story?
I don't want to.
Back off, woman. Okay, after Mystic Quest, I ended up getting into 8. 8 was my next game.
Did you beat 8?
I have beaten 8 multiple times.
You have to play that
The one thing I love about 8 is it completely goes against the concept that every other Final Fantasy is. In 8, if you level up, you make the game harder for yourself.
It's true. You do.
If you limit your leveling up, which means do not grind, you can actually get through the game a lot easier and more efficiently. So I was defeated pronouncedly the first time I played, because I am a grinding whore. That is my nature. I will level up to an extreme level, and in Final Fantasy VIII, especially in the first place, you can get to level 60 or 80 if you have even a little bit of patience. It is that easy. The problem is, if you get to level 80 in the first area,
But you can.
you are not leaving that first area.
No.
You
Oh,
will
wow.
have to beat the game.
Yeah.
You have to start over.
It literally punishes you for grinding, which really upset me because I like being at a decent level myself.
Exactly. The point of this game is not to level your characters. It's to gain the side benefits from different junctioning magic, getting weapons, all of that. That is what makes you stronger. Leveling only gives you access to certain skills, and they really aren't so great that it's worth it to give up the levels for. But 8 was a lot of fun trying to figure out that happy medium between trying to be slightly overleveled, but not so overleveled that the bosses turn around and immediately destroy you. And the way that it punishes you, I don't think we mentioned this, is monsters level up with you, gain stats with levels, gain HP with levels. So the higher your level, the stronger your opponents are. So bad shit happens very quickly in 8. Then I ended up playing 7. I regret 7 completely. I have beaten 7. I have played all the way through and beaten 7. And I'm going to set this record straight. I do not hate 7 because it is a bad game. I actually enjoy the storyline. I think it could have been a little more fleshed out, but I do enjoy the storyline. I like the main boss, Genova. Sephiroth is not the main boss. Sephiroth is an after comment that was left in, and the person that you're chasing throughout the entire game is not Sephiroth. I'm going to stop there because that's spoilers for someone who's about to play 7. But fair warning, Sephiroth is dead. Gone. No more. So try figuring out who the hell you're chasing.
Huh.
But my
Blows
point
my mind
is,
a little bit.
there you go. The whole thing that I have issues with 7 is unlike other Final Fantasies, they tried so hard to have every possible kind of mini game slammed into it at the most inopportune, awkward moments possible.
Deb, is this your history with it, or is this you explaining each and every Final Fantasy?
This is my history with it. This is why I have this passion for 7 that is not a positive one. But I do love the game. I do like... The one thing I don't like about 7, though, the biggest thing, is the fucking Knights of the Round. It kills the game. Because if you do it correctly, if you junction, I think, like 2 Magicites together, or 3, with Knights of the Round, you can spam that 5 or 6 times and beat pretty much every boss in the game one shot.
That's fun.
It defeats the purpose of the game, and it sucks all of the entertainment out of it. So when I did play, I got the Knights of the Round and set it aside and never touched it. Everybody who hears that immediately goes, "Why would you do that? It's a terrible idea." Because I got good and beat the game without it.
Fair point.
From there, I did 10, 10-2. I then came back to 9, 6, 5. Replayed 4 probably about 30 times. I played 3 on the DS, and I have never played Final Fantasy 1 and 2, the Japanese versions.
Oh.
With Firion and Garland and fuck all whoever the hell the second game was.
Emperor Mateos.
Yup. Have not played those two. I want to, but they're so... I would have to take a lot of time to sit down and actually force myself to play them. I've played 12. I've beaten 12. That doesn't mean I have 100% 12, but I've beaten 12. 12 had the worst boss fight, but the most epic fucking game.
Yes. I will agree to that because Vayne was a pain.
Yeah, but after a point, he becomes very easy to beat and you become immortal.
Yeah, the first 2 phases, I'm like, okay, cool. 3rd phase. Bitch, I have school in the morning! Can you die, please?
I've had bosses like that. God dang.
So 12 was great. Everybody bitched about the fighting style. I thought it was a step forward in the fighting style. It kept the original turn-based system. I wish it was a little faster, especially in the beginning. And I realized that as you leveled up, your characters got faster, which made their ATB gauge go faster.
Which was
But
awesome.
the beginning was very painfully slow with fights because your character would attack and then 30 seconds later attack again. So they could have sped that up just a little.
What I hear, the Zodiac version, they did.
They did.
They kind of balanced the ATB gauge across levels so that you were fast in the beginning and you got only slightly faster as you leveled, as opposed to the original where you got significantly faster as you leveled.
Which is pretty good.
I liked it both ways. It's just in the beginning grinding on that really slow fighting style. But moving on, I eventually played 13, 13-2, and I have played but not beaten 13-3.
Just fuck that one sideways.
Pretty much. I like the game. I love the graphics, love the storyline. Cannot for the life of me get through the 13 days of hell that you have to go through for that stupid game and get it to where you do it correctly to get the good ending.
Fuck
I
that.
don't even care about the good ending. I just want an ending, but I can't get past the fucking time thing because it drives my anxiety up the frickin' wall. I can't do it. That's why I'll never be able to play,
Majora's Mask?
Yeah, no, it is
Majora's
Majora's
Mask.
Mask. Yeah, I can't play that game either.
Beat that one too, but that's a whole nother series.
Yeah, it is.
Set of conversations we could have.
We'll wait to do that for like the whole JRPG / adventure podcast coming out in September. Moving on.
Yes. After 13, I never played 11, never played 14. I did not like
The
what they-
MMOs aren't really worth it. I'll tell you that. They're not really worth it. Unless you really love the whole community to be like, oh hey, I'm from America. Oh hi, I'm from Holland. I hate you.
Yeah, it was something else. I ended up getting like a 2 or 3 weeks of free play that they offered at one point, and I tried playing, and there was so much toxic garbage in the beginning area, which is mostly high-level characters, coming back to be toxic to low-level characters for I don't really know why.
They need to fix their ego.
It's like World of Warcraft all over again.
Yeah, and a lot of online MMOs are kind of fading that way. But that's again another conversation that we can have later.
We'll talk about that in November. Moving.
Yeah, we'll do that.
There you go.
But yeah, 11 and 14 didn't play. I did look into the storyline. I did like them, but again, not really. No. 15, I have pretty much beaten. I'm at the door of the boss, but I don't want to beat it before because my insane urge to talk to you about it would go insane. Think Teddy from Persona 4. So
Oh, it would be that kind of scenario, and I'd hate you and not play the game for like 4
exactly.
years. And
So
finally
I'm
get
not going to
there.
beat the boss until you've played it, just so that way there's no issue of me accidentally spoiling anything. which I have tried so hard not to.
Stop.
Scary.
Love you, Vinny. But yeah, that's why I haven't played 15 to the end. I am at the final boss. I have all of the weapons, the mystical crystal weapons he's supposed to have.
Oh yeah, the royal arms.
I have all of them. I have beaten all of the side quests. The game is 100%ed with the exception of beating the final boss. So I am doing beautifully. I do not have the DLCs, so I haven't played that. But I found out, unlike before where they were saying that the DLCs were necessary in order to complete the game, they're not.
No, they're just side stories to explain certain plot points, like where did Gladiolus go after the conflict with insert character here? What happened to Prompto after the events of chapter blank? Why is Ignis blank after blanky blank blank?
I was going to say, do not say that. She is not nearly far enough to know anything about those blanky blanks. And if you start talking about the blanky blank with Ignis, I will have to hit you.
Yeah, because we've learned it doesn't take much for me to ruin it for myself.
Oh, yeah.
Both Jurassic World movies we went to, I figured out the plot twist in the first 10 minutes.
Holy sh! It took
No,
you
it
10
really
minutes?
Yeah. Okay. Wait. Britt, have you seen those, and are you going to see them? Do I need to worry about spoilers for you?
I'm probably not. I mean, I haven't even really played or even watched a Let's Play on Final Fantasy 15. I just kind of thought it was one of those boy fandom.
No, they're talking about Jurassic World.
Well, yeah, that. But I mean, leading up to that, no, I won't be seeing Jurassic World.
Okay.
The minute I saw Chris Pratt, I was like, okay, no, I'm fine. I mean, I don't hate the guy. It's just I had a feeling of what the movie was already going to be anyway. Plus, I never really got in the Jurassic Park series anywho, I guess. But I didn't grow up with it, so.
All right, so spoiler warnings for listeners and viewers. If you don't want to hear it, just tune out for like the next 4 minutes or something. Okay, so the first movie, mind you, we'd gone to the movies for both of these, and I'm sitting there, and they show this dinosaur that they made, and you see the toes, and I'm like, oh, I know what it is. Raptors in that one. And it, like, 35 minutes later into the movie, they finally reveal, yes, there's raptor in this, and oh my god, it can talk to the other raptors. I'm like, yeah, I saw that one coming.
She really did. Here's the thing. The first scene that it shows the toes is during the scene where we first get to see it. You see its eye, it's solid white, and then it flashes to its feet stepping forward. Literally, the first 20 minutes of the movie, she's figured out the actual plot twist for the end.
It doesn't take that much to figure it out, though. You just see certain clues from the trailers of just like Chris Pratt training the raptors, and then when you see the actual film and then see the footsteps, it's like put two and two together from the trailer and then from the actual film. It's like.
And then the second one with the little girl, I was like, something's wrong there with her. She's either a clone or. Because I was like, I don't think that's his granddaughter. There's no way. It's either a clone or it's something else. Much later into the movie, we find out, aha, I'm correct.
Yeah, it's actually a clone. Fucking twist. I got to call the ending of the first Jurassic World, though, because literally when the kid goes, we need more teeth, I'm like, ha! They're going to use the water fish.
Yeah.
Waterfish. Oh, yeah, you did.
I'm like calling that.
Megalodon, possibly.
Yep. No, it wasn't a megalodon. It was
No.
Leopleurodon?
It's got the weird flippers that kind of go like this.
There's so many dinosaur fish.
The one, I don't know what it's called. But anyways, yeah. Okay, welcome back, listeners and viewers and whatever.
Right. You can come back now. It's over. You're safe.
I'll probably put like a timestamp or something on the screen if you guys are watching this on YouTube.
On YouTubes.
As far as it goes, I have not played any of the Dissidias except for the one on the phone, which is Opera Omnia. Yes. It's actually decent. As much as it sounds stupid to be on a phone game, it's actually really good.
No, there's the term of using both Final Fantasy and Opera in the same sentence. I'm like,
It actually has something to do with the actual storyline, which I haven't gotten to yet. I am only in chapter 8. I don't know how many chapters there are. This time, instead of Cosmos, the goddess of light, it's Materia and Chaos as the two gods. However, in this one, apparently the Moogle is the bad guy.
Or they're
Twist. The Moogle is the bad guy.
It just sounds like they're hinting at it, really. Though I will say, for an actual Final Fantasy, that would be interesting. Yeah, that would be a first because I mean, like we were talking about this last night, they're more like mischievous fairies at best. But they've never been. They've never been like actual enemies or bad guys. Yeah, they'll fight with you, which we learned in 6, which I was like, oh, it's so cute.
And they'll hire you to do odd jobs to kill things in Final Fantasy 12. Monty
Oh, really?
Blanc.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
they
that's
will do.
right.
LeBlanc was my favorite.
Wait, that was a Moogle's name.
Yeah.
Monty Blanc.
He wears like a French coat and wields a sword. He is fucking adorable. He also has ears like a cat.
Members of the clan Cynthia, we are now going to kill a monster,
He's the guild leader too.
I
and the strongest
vaguely
person in
remember
the
that.
guild.
I vaguely remember that.
I still
thing is,
remember the
The
day.
only thing that I really remember from 12 was being lost in the desert and this sparkly ass monster, I don't know what it was, killed me.
There's like several sparkly monsters. You gotta be very specific.
I have no idea. I got lost in the game and gave up because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I'm bored. I don't care.
She ended up in the Wester Sand.
Oh.
Yeah, right outside of the first city. She was heading out into the desert looking to see how far she could go. Got lost, and I believe it was a black skeleton, which is the boss for that shows up during the
Oh,
sandstorms.
no, there's some other monster there that looks like a thunderstorm or something.
Oh, that guy.
Oh.
Ah.
Fuck him.
He just comes up and he's like,
You
"Hey,
were very
fucking-"
underleveled with that.
Oh, yeah. She was like level 10.
Ooh.
I had my thing, whatever it's called, the thing that you fill, completely maxed out.
Oh, Shweebe.
Oh, even then?
Wow.
Even then, still underleveled.
No. All right, enough of you and your face. Vinny, tell us of your Final Fantasy history-ness.
Yo.
Enlighten us.
Okay, give me 1 second.
One was our favorite. And why?
Ooh.
And that's kind of easy for Britt and I.
Yeah.
Saying it will be the same, probably for similar reasons.
Orange Dick.
I think so. Yeah.
You slut.
Now
say-
then,
I do really want to try 15 myself, but
the thing involving my
Already
history of Final Fantasy goes a hugely long way. Because I have a friend from Japan named Kim. She had a mom that used to work for Square Enix and got her the job when she became older to be both a game tester and as well as being an art person for some of the games that would go with Square Enix. Like, I think they allowed me to do like a small little demo test for the beta version of Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3, but that was like years ago. So when I was hanging out with Kim, she gave me a copy of a kind of localized version of Final Fantasy 12 or Final Fantasy 2. I got my titles mixed up because we were talking about 12 for so long. They gave me a copy of 2 being my very first game where I fell in love with the concept of Firion and his childhood friend Rose trying to get everything back from Emperor Mateus before it became the Empire of Pandemonium, which is like a huge hellgate because he wanted to be a magical / sinister god of all things from both the physical as well as the spiritual, as like a new god of the underworld just to rule over everything with a demonic fist. And it kind of got my eye about that stuff because I was really going through a lot of emotional problems as a child, and it really helped me a lot to try and fight my demons in a video game, which helped me a lot. So fast forwarding, then I played through 3. I loved everything about it except for the original end boss before it introduced the Cloud of Darkness, because I hate wizards as the main villains of things. I don't know why, but I do. I played 4. I want to say I loved it, but I kind of fell asleep halfway through the final fight because It was really late that day when I was playing the game, and I woke up, it was beaten because it was on the title screen. I don't know how I beat it when I fell asleep, but I did it. Played 5. X-Death will always be the most hilarious final boss to me because it's a fucking tree trying to use the void as his main power source. Just like, what's your main goal? To make you succumb to the void. And how are you going to do that? By showing you the void. How are you going to do that? The void. Are you broken? The void. It's like fighting Groot's very, very dumb cousin. So what do you want to do tonight? The void. What's your favorite movie? The void. What's your girlfriend's name? The void. Then came about the greatest Final Fantasy game I've ever played in my whole life, which is 6. My God, the story behind 6 has always captivated me beyond words. I wish I remembered it better as a child than as I do as an adult. Hearing people talk about it now, I'm like, I remember playing this now. And I remember I loved Kefka a lot because of how much of a dastardly evil person that he was. Even he was trying to play himself up for laughs as like the court jester that just does something a little bit of a sinister edge to everyone with his whole sinister laugh. With all of his tiny sinister plans in motion.
Sounds like Monokuma. Damn.
He is the best bad guy in
He is damn near the almost perfect villain I've ever seen in a video game. Almost the most perfect.
I love him as the final boss because if you actually read into what he's saying, by absorbing or doing what he did to become the final boss.
I was gonna say, don't ruin it. We're still playing it on the channel.
He went from completely batshit evil insane to becoming hyper sane.
He took a page out of Joker's book.
Oh,
yeah.
Hey.
So he stopped being a bad guy so much as he just did what he had to do in order to cause your team to want to kill him.
Which is perfect! But not
so he
truly
went from being
perfect.
the ultimate bad guy to being the ultimate martyr. But he still did what he did to become what he was, so he's still bad.
What are they all for? And where do they go? All that's left is to destroy! Destroy! All that's left is the beauty to destroy! Anyway, enough of my love of Kefka. I moved on to then Final Fantasy VII, which is, as much as I would like to say I love or hate it, I'm kind of like in between where I'm like, I prefer the prequel game of Crisis Core more because it shows the true hero of Zack Fair in his prime days before he died pointlessly for a small little moron that I won't spoil for anyone. And it also fleshed out the Turks more about why they were trying to keep an eye out for Aerith and all these things about the history behind the Buster Sword, the original 3 first-class soldiers from Shinra, how the Shinra organization actually tried to operate and brainwashed its operatives to think that they were doing the better good for everyone involved. And it made me feel like this was a story I wanted to play on the original more so than the other story. And it even shows like what we all know today about where the true antagonist really came into fruition from because of Crisis Core. Then there's also Dirge of Cerberus, but I'm not really bothered with Dirge of Cerberus. And the movie was pretty good of Advent Children, but for the main game of 7, it was, Then I moved on to 8. Didn't really finish it the first time. Replayed it again when I was supposed to be going to high school. I beat it, and I'm still just like, Ultimecia, girl. If I were to be bringing out one of my single selves from a different timeline, you and me, we could destroy the universe together and then have some Netflix and chill.
Old school waifu, huh?
Well,
I've heard a lot of people
Ultimecia
say
wasn't-
that Final Fantasy VIII is actually pretty good. like better than 7 or something. I kind of want to play it, but then I don't know if I want to keep playing Final Fantasy games. At least on the channel.
Take a break from Final Fantasy
I have been
after
requested
7.
to play all of them on my channel, and I'm like, all right, it'll happen. It'll probably take a couple of years, but it'll happen.
Yeah.
As far as 8 goes, it does have the better
story of the PlayStation 1 era.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, cause like playing Final Fantasy 7 now, man, I don't even remember where I was at. I took a week break.
You were
so far.
I believe you just finished a date with Aerith on the carousel.
Oh yeah, I was doing a bunch of the side missions, and then we
Yeah,
ended
you
up
got
in Wutai.
Yuji as well as
I remember now.
everyone else in the party, including the vampire who shares a name I will not repeat.
Valentine? You have a name now, Valentine? Why did you never tell me this?
God, I feel like I've been lied to all these years.
Anyway, though, aside from 7 and 8, I then moved on to 9. My God, do I regret ever picking up the controller to play 9. Because I hate the story, I hate the characters, I hate the summons, I hate the character fighting system, I hate the mini games, I hate how it led up to everything, I hate how underused Kujo was in retrospect, I hate the final boss, I hate everything that Square Enix had in their tiny little misogynistic brains when they were doing all this while they were sexually harassing all their female co-workers and different people in departments, just making this game happen, where I'm just like, do you guys really enjoy making shit games now if this is what your newest material is, you fuckwits?
God damn.
Anyway, though.
That is
you say all that
for a single game.
I say that's worse than my
I was gonna say
FF7.
that's worse than your 7, which is funny because I've not played the entire thing. I enjoyed it. I can't actually say the word enjoyed. That's fine.
I don't even remember or even seen any sort of like fan hype for 9. Now that I think about it, I don't even know what 9's about.
9
Like,
is basically
to me it just totally
a
skipped. There's
thief
7,
kidnapping
8,
a
what's
princess.
9, and then 10.
This is basically the thing. A thief kidnaps a princess because the princess wants to leave her house because mom has gone evil, and so they have this other guy who's the same race as the guy that stole the princess.
Oh wait, is that the one with the monkey boy?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, this is how bad that's the only thing I know about the game is that it's a monkey boy.
The only thing I think that was redeeming about it was Vivi.
Vivi was the
I
only
love-
highlight of the game. That's the only bright side I'll say. Vivi was adorable. I love that little bastard, even though his lifespan was very short.
Don't
Some of us have only
let
played the
me-
first disc. Stop where you are.
Anyway,
We already knew Titus was gonna die. Why you gotta bring Vivi into this?
anyway. Moving on from the awfulness of 9, I kind of took a little bit of time off, and then people were just like, 10's coming out. I was like, what the fuck is 10? So I then pick up 10, I'm just like,
Upper
oh
after
my
9.
god. It's based off of the Shinto mythology legend of Susanoo.
Not many people know what that is. You did-
Basically, after he pissed off his sister of Amaterasu, Susanoo was sent to Earth, being kicked out of heaven after they had to get his sister out by having a striptease from Ameto Uzume, just going like, "Hey guys, I'm naked!" Huh? What? Sealed the cave behind Amaterasu so she wouldn't run away. Susanoo was sent to Earth just being a regular human, but then he hears that there's this village that has Yamato no Orochi trying to devour a priestess. So Susanoo, trying to become a legendary hero, decides to try and fight Orochimaru, and by using a sword that's literally stuck in Orochimaru's ass as a trophy to destroy the 9-headed dragon, he saves the priestess. She becomes his bride. He's welcomed back into heaven by giving his sister, the grass cutter sword, and everything is forever peaceful between the gods until the next thing erupts, because deities always fight with each other, because family is always a disruptive mess. I mean, watch every episode of the podcast. We're not always happy with each other, but we love each other. But translating that into Final Fantasy, with Titus being Susanoo, Yuna being the priestess, and Sin being technically Yamato no Orochi.
Yeah.
And
so, what's Kimari?
Oh, they're just insert characters of just being along with the ride. They don't have side characters with Susanoo.
Oh, I know. I was kidding.
No, I know. I was doing that for Shweebes because she was just looking at it like, what the fuck, bitch?
Just
No, that was
glare.
shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
That's what that look was. It was shut the fuck up.
Although I did love Kimari. But yeah, that's what I kind of took from it. But then when I finally just played the game, I was like, so they took the myth, but made it sort of like a teen drama thing to make it look like he wouldn't come back for his future wife. And I would be happy if it just ended there.
And into.
And then I played Stripper Fantasy, the Charlie's Angels edition. I didn't hate it as much as I would want to. I did like it because of the obvious reasons of Pain, because Pain and Lulu were just my whole... You guys don't know this, but my family knows this. I'm a transcended goth. I love everything with the dark and macabre. That's why I like to be the new age Gomez Adams.
You don't
But-
have to be a new age goth to like Pain. Pain was my favorite of the three too. Straightforward, fuck you, this is the attitude you're gonna get. Loved it.
When 10-2 first came out, I thought it was Lulu, and I was like, what the fuck happened to her?
Lulu got a
I
tit
thought-
reduction and
I was like,
everything.
whoa.
And I was like, who the fuck is Pain?
I honestly thought Pain was Oren's daughter for the longest time.
That was a popular theory for the
I
longest
never
time.
thought of that.
I
one.
could see
That
that.
would have been the greatest fucking...
Because she did wield a shimmering blade.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Which
didn't.
is weird.
Wow.
That,
Shit, you
she's the
blew my
only one
mind,
who
guys.
wields one of Oren's weapons. in
I've
the
never heard
game,
that one
so
before.
It would have been a nice little...
It would have been a cool, because in fucking 10 they mentioned what is it? One of the Jekt spheres that you find when Jekt's in prison. This is like a flashback. There's was it prison? I don't fucking care.
It
Anyway.
is prison.
Some kind of chit chat going, and they mentioned how Sir Oren was technically a monk who refused his hand of marriage and stuff and whatever. And I'm like, okay, interesting.
So who is the bitch?
Right. I know
This noble woman's daughter, I think.
Yeah.
Which they don't really touch on, but that's also a possibility of why were they forcing his hand in marriage? What if they had washed rice, as the old phrase goes?
Oh.
Those hookers, he's mine.
But then after 10-2 happened, we then had to wait a couple of years for the radio drama, which is now a campaign of just like, you guys want to play 10-3 with Tidus and Yuna and Riku and Kimari and Lulu and Waka fighting Sin all over again because
No.
Sin came back for some fucking reason and
No.
summons are a thing again, and Oren does have a daughter, and she's like a guardian for a new age summoner who has a thing for Yuna, and Yuna and Tidus broke up because reasons no one wants to really explain.
Oh, no. The reason was because they were suspension bridge relationship. They fell in love because Yuna was going to die and because Titus didn't exist.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that the game was all like, what was it? Sixth Sense, basically, being like, yeah, it's just this guy. Oh,
But
and I
that
guess
was a
Owen, too.
beautiful way to end it with the first game
Yeah,
after
it was.
It
like...
made me so sad, but like in every
I know,
Final
I
Fantasy
cry
game,
every
like the
time.
title
But
really
to
is
have
Final
it span over the
Fantasy.
sequels, it makes the whole breakup pointless if you try to be like, we're fighting to get them back together, and now we're breaking them
Exactly.
up.
I don't want a 10-3. What I would love to see
A
is a
prequel.
10 prequel where you play as Jekt and there's Sir Oren and Lord Vraska with you.
That would be fun. I'm
Give
sure.
it the
Sure.
Crisis
What
Core
happened?
treatment.
They will all die, Jekt will become Sin, but I want to see their adventure and all the bullshit that they had to go through.
and the best way to end it is Jekt. It starts with Jekt being brought into the world like Titus was. It ends with Jecht as Sin floating across in the ocean, dreaming of his adventures. That's what it was. And that's when all of a sudden he comes into the sphere that was Xanarkand to collect Titus. Boom, connect into the first game. There you go. I did your whole intro, outro for you.
Bitchin'.
Fill in the middle.
Yeah, let's go. Do it.
I'm just saying, that would be the perfect way to do it.
Account right now.
It shows all of Jecht's story, and it connects directly to the 10 storyline right in the beginning. Right when Titus is being taken by Sin back to the original, wherever the fuck. Where that?
Xanarkand?
No, not Xanarkand, because he drops him off elsewhere. But
What are you talking about?
what's the world called?
Spira.
Thank you.
Okay, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Spear is the insert for Earth, and
Yeah.
Dream Xanarkand is the insert for the heavenly paradise of the Shinto gods.
So, but my point is that the prequel would be very easy to connect to the 2 points.
Oh, the prequel would be
It doesn't have to
easy. It's just that Square Enix doesn't really care unless it's a full-blown in-their-face thing. They know what their fans want. They know what their employees hear from their children and their friends that they talk to out of work. But this is something I've learned from Kim as well as from her mom. The CEOs and heads of Square, even if they try to act like it, they don't give a shit as long as they try to milk out whatever they think is the nearest cash cow, because they don't care about the fans as much as they say publicly. The directors and creative teams, for whatever they do, they act passionate, but they're as fucked up. I've known a lot of people that walked out because of the sexual harassment, the verbal abuse, the hazing, a lot of different fucked up problems behind closed doors at Square.
Damn.
I believe it.
So I don't really give a shit what they say. You gotta have it go to the fans. Make a fan-made game of it if you have to. Don't go to Square about that shit. I'm not saying for everyone to be boycotting Square. I'm just saying don't get your hopes up for all this stuff of Final Fantasy VII remake or HD remake of 6 or prequel of 10. Make fan-made stuff and they'll end up doing it themselves after doing the whole legal ramification, just like, oh, so you think you can do this better than us? We'll show you!
Right?
Well,
Or a
here's the thing.
fucking proper remaster of 10, because I was really, really disappointed with that. All they did was put a nice skin over the main protagonists, the team members, and then the main antagonists. And that was it. And a few new weapons, a couple of new bosses you could make, some new items. Fuck you. That's not what I was expecting. I was looking forward to, possibly, Final Fantasy 13 graphics to be there. Alright? I was so pissed. And then, for the fuckheads. Now, I know that this happened on the Steam version. I don't know if that was due to a poor port or what, because I've yet to finish it on PS3. The audio for the final scene of the fucking game before the credits roll is so out of sync. When I should be crying my eyes out, I was pissed off. Oh my god. I was like, for a remaster, this is shit. I really hope the PS3 version is better.
But,
Okay,
but we've gotten off topic from,
Yeah, we have.
from my history list.
Wait, he's still finishing his list.
Oh, well, still on that same subject real quick. FF7, the remake, already exists.
Yeah, I already know that.
No, I'm just filling everybody else in. Square Enix actually got hacked, quote unquote hacked, whether it was actually hacked or it was a publicity stunt, we'll never know.
Uh-huh.
But it was released that a completed version of the remake of Final Fantasy VII with 13 level graphics is already completed. Square Enix, however, said there is only 2 ways that they will ever release it. The first is if they are knocking on Chapter 11. That's it. Or, what was the other one? If the fans boycotted immediately all of their games, they would release 7 as a way to placate people. And Chapter 11, for people who don't know, is bankruptcy.
Yeah.
So
They would have to
bankruptcy
go
or
bankrupt
people
again.
refuse to buy their games. That's the
Well-
only way. that they would release FF7.
I'll tell you
remake.
what. If they keep doing what they did with 15, 15 is a good game. Granted, I haven't played all of it. I haven't gotten all the DLC, but that's what was most annoying. Within the first couple of weeks that I got the damn game, when it first fucking came out, there were so many updates, and then there was DLCs for this, that, and the other thing, and I'm like, did you guys give us an unfinished game?
Yes, because there was a lot of fan demand and they couldn't keep up with fan demand and doing the game justice, so they were just like, alright, fine, here you fucking go!
Well, then they then they need to take a book from Nintendo. Keep your fucking mouth shut. And don't make any promises until said game is done. But then don't be a bitch about it when the game is done and be like, oh, we're gonna wait until you guys boycott us or if we want to bankrupt. That's a dick move, Square Enix. Fuck you.
No, but that goes back to what Vinny was saying about the fact that the CEOs really don't care about their fan base as much as they claim they do.
They're more concerned about that dollar bill. Or yen,
You know what? I
whatever they
can't
get.
blame them at the same time, though, because money does make life easier.
It does, and I get it. I get it as a business person's standpoint. However, also as a business person's standpoint, when you know that your fucking customers know this information as well, probably not a good idea. You should play.
Oh no, it's a terrible practice to do.
To look at them and go, oh, by the way, fuck you.
Right.
That's like saying, hi, you guys know that loyalty you gave us all these years? That means as much as me scratching my nuts.
Much.
It makes me feel slightly better about myself, but ultimately makes me much dirtier for it.
But anyway, after the abomination that was me sitting through the I jerked off this game to I tried 11. I didn't like it because it was just constant stuff of just like, hey pretty girl, I heard that you're in the party and you're a healer, so I was wondering if you could just rub my rod a little. And then just be a 14-year-old boy and be like, I'm actually a boy. Shh, don't talk.
Wow.
So that made me not do the MMOs anymore. And so I just moved on to 12. 12 being one of my favorites of all time because I love the game's whole mechanics. I love the story. As much as people are just saying Bond was just made as an insert character for like everybody, I was like, even though I don't really like Star Wars as much as I used to growing up, this is pretty much Star Wars. It's literally getting Luke Skywalker and all these important characters to fight the Empire, but without the whole, Luke, I am your father. That was just inserted in there, just like, Bosh, I'm your brother. No! Wait, I already knew that. And then I tried 13. I got to the final boss, but after the whole slugfest I had to go through to get through everything, fighting Bartanthalus and getting the Orphan, I just finally gave up at like the final phase of the boss, being like, you know what, Final Fantasy 13, fuck you. You didn't really deliver on anything. My gaming boner has gone down to being so floppy, it's trying to recede inside myself. You have lost this erection. I am done with you. I'm not even gonna finish. I'm gonna walk out the door. And then
How visual.
And then after that, I kind of just didn't really touch anything with Final Fantasy. I didn't play 13.2 or 13.3. I tried Dissidia. I loved it. I maxed out all my heroes to level 100 over like the span of about 9 months. And I was working on the villains. Then Dissidia 012 came out, and I was in love. Because Kain was badass, and Yuna was fun. Playing a little bit more of the heroes and villains was amazing. I didn't really like Lightning in Dissidia 012 because it kind of felt eh. But it was still pretty cool. And then finally, I touched on Final Fantasy Tactics, Advanced, and regular Tactics before moving on to Final Fantasy 15, which was the first platinum trophy I actively pursued when it first dropped, the official first release of the game, not the Royal Edition people are playing now. I literally platinumed the entire game after streaming it for several days straight on YouTube and Twitch, to then just go through everything, fishing, cooking, doing all the stuff of the scavengry, getting all the stuff photography levels, max level, fighting the secret boss, which is the size of 5 mountains put together just to make up his shell.
Eternal.
Adamantoids.
Yeah. Oh my god. I made the mistake of fighting him way too early.
Yeah, don't do it too early. Then I tried fighting the other secret boss of a giant mechanical monster. That killed me because I was super underleveled. And I even played all the DLCs, which means I know even more of the story, and I'm waiting now for 2019 to do all the other stories, which has the main villain's backstory, it has Noctis's love interest story, and there's also another story coming out with it. I'm just so enraptured with 15 at this point. I could do an entire retrospective of the entire game and then do a backwards catalog of all the games prior to do an entire connecting web with everything in the Final Fantasy mythos to link back to the 2 warring gods and goddesses of light and darkness at this point. I have loved this franchise to a T where I cannot stop until either I have a son who will be like, Dad, I want to be a video game person. I'm like, son, walk into my room. I'll call up your uncles. We'll give you a crash course. What about my Aunt Shweebe? She's busy doing a merch store introduction for JCPenney's.
Yeah, okay.
Wow.
JCPenney's. Grr.
But yeah, that's my whole history with Final Fantasy currently. Will I probably play more games in the future? Probably not. I've been kind of getting Wayne off the gaming train. I'm kind of becoming more of a gaming critic.
Nothing wrong with that.
After beating Final Fantasy 15 and Yakuza Kiwami and Persona 5 and God of War 4, I'm just like, I'm not really enjoying games as I used to because I like critiquing more. That's something I've learned from YouTube. I like critiquing things.
Nothing wrong with that. I mean, shoot, look at IGN. Look at fucking, what are they called? The Onion. However, for those of you who are reading The Onion, this is a side thing. And looking at that as real facts, you're funny. It's a joke.
It's a satirical newspaper.
Yes. Oh my god. I've had people quote The Onion at me, and I'm like, you do realize that that is all satire, right? And they're like, you're full of shit. And I'm like, no, you are, and so is that. Okay, randomness is done. Go ahead.
Okay, so now that we've done the history of what we've dealt with and our many, many years of experience with it, Vinny, what was your favorite Final Fantasy? And in 3 points, why was it?
Oh, that's a tie right there. It's a 3-way tie between 6, 12, and 15.
Okay. Pick one that you think you'd... All right. Which one would you most likely want to play again right now?
Or recommend to someone who hasn't played it.
Yes.
The one I would recommend because of nostalgia purposes, since I played it more than the other 2 combined, would be 12. Not saying I don't love the other games less, just I played it more. And I only recommend it for people is because it's new, it took a lot of risk, but it was a lot more rewarding with how it was trying to do things with the whole backstory with characters, its side quests were inventive, and how they try to flush out every antagonist actually felt rewarding when you tried to actually beat their faces in, either with weapons or your own bare fists with disrespect when they're at their sliv of life left, just like, you know what, fuck weapons. Gah!
Fuck you.
Not
Fuck
to
this,
mention,
fuck
12
that.
did
I don't wanna play
beautifully
again.
with the fact that they created their own summons, which is almost unheard of in the Final Fantasy series. Almost
God,
every Final
summons.
Fantasy goes back to the fallback of what 6 made, the original summon set. But 12 went, no. Whole new set of summons. Everything new. I love that. And not only did they make new summons, they did them beautifully.
Take those pills.
Sorry, that was something.
Still Vinny's turn.
Here you go.
It's not allowed to go on a tirade about how great a game is and not include pieces.
Whatever.
And
We
the
fam,
final
we
part
can
that
do this.
made it, the final part that made it amazing, Monty Blanc and his clan. I cannot tell you how the Hunters Guild made Final Fantasy XII the most enjoyable experience of all time. It was enjoyable to see his puffy face with joy of just like, you killed another monster, Koopa? That's good. I promote you another rank for killing 7 monsters in a row, Koopa. And now we hang their heads on the wall. Wait, you didn't say Koopa. I didn't? Well, I guess I could just kill you now, Koopa. No, it's cool. It's cool.
And he stares at you with those dead eyes.
And just gets really close and goes.
Seriously though, 12, amazing game. Anyone that has not played it, give it a chance. Even if you don't like how it starts off, by the end of it you'll be like, it was an enjoyable run. I enjoy this.
I totally replay it again. It was a fun
I'm
game.
not replaying it,
I
but
was so young. My God. 14, 15 years old.
My issue with the new one, the Zodiac, is they kind of throw you into the classes without explaining what they do, why they do it, or how they do it.
Yeah.
So I made the mistake of making Vaughn a samurai very early.
No.
Yes! Samurai!
No.
No! Bad
Man,
choice.
I don't even remember how I played that game, but somehow I beat it.
'Cause once you pick a class, you're stuck with it.
Yeah.
Permanent thing. No, not till when. It is.
It's
Choose
permanent.
a class, you're done. That's your
so then
class.
what's wrong with the samurai thing?
Nothing. It's really strong late game.
Oh.
Not early game. Like you'll
No,
be just
early
like,
game.
oh God,
Oh,
I'm
early
You
game.
dying.
The first 3 towns.
What?
Literally, you get the starter sword. It's a late game class. You're not supposed to choose samurai early. You're supposed to, for Vaughn, pick a fast sword wielder.
Well, yeah, he's more of a rogue type.
Exactly, but it give you access. There's 13 classes. You can choose any one of the 13.
And you can't change this at all later in the game.
No.
There's not like a secret Moogle somewhere you give
Nope.
him a piece of toast and he's like, I can change your class, Koopo.
Nope.
Nothing like that?
No.
Wow.
Yep.
Good job, Square.
The
Make it
classes
hard.
idea was great though, because in the original you could wield any weapon as long as you built your character correctly.
You see, that was also, I think that was more confusing for me. Because I was like, I don't know what I should be giving each of these people, because I've got this whole fucking thing maxed out. So I just gave them whatever the strongest weapon was in the shop.
Which
So,
is usually an axe, but that was always a bad idea because it was hit and miss at best. But with it goes, okay, this class wields axes. By wielding an axe in this class, you're more likely to hit than this. The samurai, he has his to where it's a magical effect. He has a magic katana. He's actually a mage class.
wait, the samurai is a mage class?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hate it already.
Yeah, see, that was I didn't read into what the class was. I'm like, oh my god, samurai. That means I'm gonna have Iaido techniques out the fucking ass.
No.
Was my thought,
No.
which is a quick draw sword technique. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yet no. Evilise has a different class system.
Wow.
It ended badly for me.
I learned that very well thanks to tactics being set in Evilise. That's why I was like, no.
Speaking of, War of the Lions was a great game. But moving on.
Who's next?
Let's
Let's
go
back to
Britt. Britt hasn't spoken in a while.
Yeah. Oh, I was too busy listening, I guess. God, I feel like I've already said my favorite, honestly. 7 actually isn't. I wouldn't really say that bad. Now that I'm trying to mentally review these games in my head right now. It's been so long. 7 really is the newest Final Fantasy game for me to play now.
With
Because I have,
spiky, giant tits, Mr. T, the dog, the girl,
yeah, it's
the girl
you can
from
like
Spoilers.
you can feel the 97 in it. Like it's hilarious to me. And I feel like the story itself could so far it just reminds me of like every other kind of video game. Like I think it's probably because I am older and I didn't get to experience it like other people have. Not very original, I suppose. It makes me kind of think of shoot, I can't think of the game right now. Anyway, but you know, man, my brain's a little scattered. But you know, honestly, I didn't even finish 13 now that I think about it. I got stuck at one boss and never passed it. But anyway, yeah, I would have to say that probably 10 from the Final Fantasy series was probably my absolute favorite. The one I would recommend everyone to start playing as. Because it definitely, for me, felt like it was, wow, this is something that kind of got more improved after the games that were its predecessors, I suppose. And then 12 definitely was a new, innovative way of looking at it. And if I could, I would totally play 12 again just to see if I can actually wrap my head around it. I'm sure I can now. I'm smarter. My brain isn't like, oh, this person... I didn't know what the heck a healer was, which I really needed in my old games. But now
really
that's all I
need
am.
a
I'm like,
healer
I
for
need
stuff.
a healer.
Especially
I
for
need a tank,
oh
and
my
I need-
god, Gilgamesh!
Yeah, I was like, oh my god.
Everyone's
But yeah.
favorite troll.
Yeah,
But
no.
yeah, I would definitely say 10 is my absolute favorite. Its story definitely drew me in. It made me want to like learn more about the Final Fantasy games as a whole, I suppose. Even though technically when you think about it, like each Final Fantasy game is its own little fantasy. That's why there's always one freaking person who always dies, and it makes me sad.
But it's all tied in the same mythos. That's the weird thing. It's isolated
is.
universes,
It's
but
so-
same mythos.
It's like they're almost kind of like the DC multiverse kind of thing going on. Like, yeah, this is the same thing here, but a totally different like cast or something like that. Like, did you know there's 4 different Robins? I didn't know that. But
Actually,
anyway,
there's 5 different Robins.
there's 5.
Yeah, it's Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, Stephanie Brown, and Damian Wayne. Not to mention Carrie Kelly in the alternate universe for Batman Year 1, I believe, and The Dark Knight Rises, Dark Knight Returns. All Carrie Kelly being the 6th unofficial Robin.
It definitely, yeah. The Final Fantasy series definitely makes me think of multiverse. But there's always like 2 people that die, or at least one person that's not even important that dies. Technically, I don't know. I'm kind of thinking of 12, for any spoilers, and then 10. I don't know why. Like I kind of knew that was gonna happen with like Xanarkin and all that stuff because of what the side quests or the little deject spheres. There's
Yeah.
spheres you find definitely like kind of gives you like a foreshadowing everything, and you're like, oh wait, I get it now. Wow. But my mind was still blown by that. So, but yeah, that's my opinion on the whole Final Fantasy franchise. I'm totally down to play some of the newer games. I still kind of want to play 15, but every time
Do
I
it.
watch,
Do it.
every time I think about it, I'm like,
Do it.
I remember the fan art from this from Tumblr, which is like the worst place to go to. No offense to anyone who goes on Tumblr.
Tumblr's just full of porn.
You're looking in the wrong area. See?
All I do is just look up,
Area.
let's see, I want to look up Kagome. All of a sudden, Kagome going down into Shomaru. What the
I mean, they. I left because you see that a lot.
Kagome was enjoying his twin fang technique.
And then it's like, okay, normal stuff. Dexter's mom. All of a sudden, Dexter's mom in a giant cum shower. What?
Yeah.
It's pretty fun.
Look, the original show had some pretty risky. She had Dad's trophy written on her ass.
No, that was the neighborhood girl. That was the
No.
neighborhood lady.
No,
that was the
Dexter's
mom.
No, that wasn't the mom. The lady next door with blonde hair and purple pants.
No, Dexter's
all
mom.
right.
actually had
I
enough-
will. I got
Talk
the
about the right
interwebs.
show.
We can have the answers. God.
Because there was an episode, he was sitting in his chair, leaning back. She had gotten him a drink, and she bent over to clean something, and it had it written on her pants.
What's it called? Dad's trophy?
Yeah.
That's trophy.
Oh. Yeah, no, it is the lady with the purple pants.
Boom!
And why does it matter?
Clearly it does, mister. It was Dexter's mom. It was Dexter's mom.
I thought it was.
I thought
Holy
it was
camel toe. Clearly I watched this when I was a kid because I didn't see that.
Arr.
Now, since Britt and I did our whole rundown. Oh, Shweebes is next.
Me? Okay. Well, mine's actually the same as Britt. It is Final Fantasy X because that's actually what really got me into the Final Fantasy series. And just at that time, it was like seeing graphics like that for the first time was just freaking insane. I was like, whoa! I've never seen anything like it before. The story, oh my god, I love the story. It was very confusing as a kid to really wrap my head around it. But later in life, I've played the crap out of that game. I've honestly logged about 2,000 hours in various times that I've played that, from never 100%ing it, because fuck the lightning bolts.
Oh god, yeah.
I've never
I ran that
ever
through that thing like crazy.
managed to do that. So it's like, you know what, Lulu, I'm just gonna make you your own, and that's ultimately where most of those hours went, was collecting the items so I could make better than what she was gonna wind up with in the first damn place. But
Triple D has now gotten her own self-made ultimate weapon. Was it a stronger bra? Fuck you, that's not a weapon.
No, it's just an extra tit, and she just lobs it at the enemy like, ha, take that. But my three main reasons why I loved it so much was, I loved it for this particular reason when I was older, was the thing that Yuna and pretty much everybody else had to go through when they finally get to Xanarkand and they meet Yunalesca. And it was that shaking of their faith where they realized, oh, well, this is a bunch of horse shit. That's nice. Basically, our whole lives have been a lie. That's awesome.
Also, fun fact, basically, is that Yunalesca is technically an insert for Susanoo's mom of Izanami, the ruler of the Shinto underworld.
Oh.
Izanagi actually had her give birth to a fire god that burnt her insides after popping out of her vagina, and she was put in the underworld, where he was supposed to bring her out, but she was like, okay, you can help me get out of here, but you should not look at me. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, what's that? I can't hear you, it's very dark in here. Turns on the light, she looks super decrepit, and just like, well, I guess you don't change, Mr. Weak-ass pull-out game. And sends her demons out to kill her husband. She's just like, I think we should see other people. I know we're still married, but I gotta go see ya. And he just washes out his whole sins from being in the underworld, where his eyeballs come out as the sun and the moon, and part of his hair becomes Susanoo.
Huh.
Neat.
It is neat. I don't know much of anything about this mythos outside of what Vinny's been telling us. So while he's telling this, I'm like playing the game in my head, and I'm like, I can totally fucking see that.
So Lord Zayon would be Izanami or Izan.
Yeah.
I don't know which one is which, because they're both so similar in names of Iza and Iza.
Ugh. Oh wait. Okay. Yeah, I was like, it was still
reason.
my turn, right? Okay. Second reason. Well, Sir Orin is not even gonna be part of the three, because let's just say I had a fucking huge crush on Sir Orin. Still do. He is my man foo forever. Oh my god. And I really like how they made him look in the remaster. I was really worried that they were gonna fuck it up. No, it looks really smooth. But the second reason is Seymour Guado. I have never hated a particular protagonist so damn much, but also found him incredibly sexy at the same time.
Wait,
but would
protagonist?
still strangle him. Or antagonist. Bad guy.
Oh, he can be a
Evil
protagonist
doer,
while
the
he
killer of things.
He was
The
on the team
asshole.
once, so technically he was a protagonist for a short period of time.
Fuck him, AP stealing slut. Alright? I kill him every time he shows up in that fight. Because my guys will get like maybe 1 or 2 and he'll wind up with 8. Fuck him. I hate that. Every time that. Fuck you. Cuss slaps. But the reason that I love him as a bad guy is because he's so fucking... He never backs down. He's so fucking passionate about this. He's like, this is what I believe. I don't care that I'm dead. I'm still... This is how it has to be. I understand his backstory. It fucking sucks. Doesn't change that he's an asshole.
Even though he had a Norman Bates relationship with his mom.
No. No.
Well,
Anyway, it doesn't change
anyway.
the fact that the fight with him was so... Oh my god, it was so rage festy. I'm pretty sure I've broken at least one controller, and it was always because of him. But when I finally beat him, I'm like, are we actually done now? Can I move on to the actual boss of this game, which I'm pretty sure ain't you? And the sad part is, even when I was up there fighting you, Yevon, I was like, let's wait and see Seymour's face pop up. I'm still waiting. It never happens. I was like, okay. But honestly, he was an awesome bad guy, but oh my god, it's fucking strangle him to death. The third reason that I really enjoyed 10, honestly, it would be the Blitzball. And the reason that I say Blitzball is because at first, I fucking
Greatest
hate
fictional
Blitzball.
sport ever.
I know. I say that now, but as a kid, I couldn't understand it. I hated it. I would lose on purpose and just fuck off. Later in life, I'm like, there's gotta be something more to it that I'm just not getting. So I played it more, understood it, and I'm like, this game's fucking awesome. I've already had this conversation with Vinny. If they ever figure out how to make Blitzball a real sport, I will shape up from this precious little donut body that I have, shape up, and we will go and be fucking Blitzball stars. I want that to be a thing so badly.
They gotta install gills into us first so we don't have to breathe.
From what I've gathered, they train themselves to do all that, and I'm like, there's no fucking way you can do that and move in, get hit, and not choke underwater.
Well, technically it's pressurized water still, where you still have to have the buoyancy, so it's kind of impossible physically without gills.
Yeah. Or, I forgot what, it was some kind of sci-fi fucking movie. I don't remember what it was. Oh, I know.
Waterworld?
Maybe.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. It was something that they put in their mouth right here, and then they were just able to breathe in it. I want to say that was probably a Star Wars movie now that I think about
Yes.
it. Was it their lightsaber? What the fuck they put in their
No,
mouth?
it was a device that they literally, it's episode 1,
Uh-huh.
and all it is a small bit they put right here.
Uh-huh.
And what it does is it brings water in and filters it, so you get the oxygen out of the water, shoots water out the side.
See, that'd be genius. And the only rule would be no hitting in the face.
Okay, if the ball hits you in the face, that's part of soccer. That happens.
No, I'm saying with the thing. Unless they've got like a special, like, I don't fucking know. I want it to be fucking brutal like football used to be way back in the day where you wind up with broken bones and shit. Obviously, it's going to be harder to do because you're in water. I still want it to be a thing. Stop arguing with me. Damn it. Ooh. Also, well, yeah. I suppose it's technically a part 4. Summoned? This was the first time I'd ever played a game where there were summons. So I was like, oh my god, these are so cool! I have pets and they do shit!
I'm gonna name you Timmy. Actually, my name is Valet Timmy. No, you see, my name is Valet Timmy.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm done. Your turn. Let me guess. 6?
Fuck yes.
I thought it was gonna be 4. Damn.
I thought it was gonna be 4,
I
too.
loved 4, but as great as 4 is, 6 is better.
It's the greatest
Right.
8-bit of the entire Final Fantasy franchise. Greatest 8-bit version.
Even outside of 8-bit, if we just take storyline alone with how fleshed out the characters are, the number of characters that they went out of their way to get,
18.
and the overall villain, there's just so many like possibilities to play this game and so much variabilities. There's even a point where you can choose the ultimate sword or the ultimate spell. It's an option.
Cut things, blow shit up. Cut things, blow shit up. Cut things, blow shit up.
Exactly. And so it's an option. Do you get the ultimate sword in the game and give up the ultimate spell, or do you pick the ultimate spell and give up the ultimate sword?
Don't make me choose. It's like saying, do you want Mexican food or do you want Chinese?
Can I have some Chinese Mexican food?
No.
Damn,
Blasphemous hoe.
As far as the game goes, the fact that it's probably over 100 hours easy of gameplay between the two halves of the game, I love it. The sheer number of characters, love it. Because normally when games get laden with characters, you're like, okay, that's carbon copy of that guy. That's the same guy with a slightly different skin, same skill set with maybe one or two differences. No, in Final Fantasy VI, every single character had a unique skill set, a unique backstory, a unique weapon selection. It like they actually put thought into how these characters are supposed to exist.
it was probably one of the last times that Square actually decided to care outside of just creative directors they just hired on the spot. Like, as much as I want people to be all like, but aren't you a Kingdom Hearts fan? Shouldn't you be all like praising Tetsuya Nomura? I'm gonna stop people there. Like, allow me to have my whole What Grinds My Gears part of the What Grinds My Gears podcast thing. Everything involving the history with Final Fantasy comes with a lot more negative in the private eye than does the public eye. Because a lot of stuff of plagiarism went alongside a lot of earlier designs with different characters and bosses that go back decades before even where we are today, of just self-plagiarism of the big bad guy of 15 being a carbon copy redesigned. Originally a redesign from what Kim told me before she left Square about a few years ago, about Blank literally being drawn to literally be a carbon copy of Kefka in just modern day clothing.
Yep.
Needless to say, all the stuff that Square has been trying to do creatively has been appalling with how it's done creatively, where I can't stand when people are just trying to praise them without trying to be like, you know, you guys are kind of turning into what Butch Hartman has become, heartless, soulful dicks. Which they are. Even with what they're trying to do with Kingdom Hearts 3. I tweeted out the thing to Britt and one of my friends from my stream team about having 80 plus hours of content right now. That's shit they could have released years ago, but they decided to just jerk the chain about because they both, one, wanted to squeeze out more money because Tetsuya Nomura could have released the story earlier and had everything that's going on in the third game with a new protagonist to make it a lot more profitable, or just instilling in like increments of like, here's episode 1, 2, and then finally 3 of Kingdom Hearts 3. That would have been a good settlement plan because that's good business. That's how you get the ball rolling. But no. I despise everything in my being with Square Enix to a T with this because they know what they can do. They just refuse to because they give no fucks about their fan base, no fucks about the people that work inside their team. And if you were to point this out for this, they wouldn't even try to put it out publicly. They just try to destroy you and blackball you from anything in the gaming industry. So fuck everything to go on with Square.
Back to the games, though, which we still have a very big passion for. Look, we can hate the people who are running the company, but they still, the creative team is still good.
Oh, I know. I just had to get that off my chest real quick because that was just bothering my soul.
No, I get that, but I want people who hear this to not go, oh, they hate Square Enix. No, we don't hate Square Enix. We hate the bullshit they pull. We love Square Enix. I will forever be a Final Fantasy fan, forever a Kingdom Hearts fan, and I am probably going to be in line getting Final Fantasy 16 as long as it's not a fucking MMO.
Oh, I doubt it's gonna be an
Upset.
MMO.
Oh, come on.
Wait, 16's really already been announced as an MMO?
It's not. Trust me. It's
Oh,
not.
okay. I was gonna say.
I was gonna
please,
say,
no.
please no.
No, they're storyboarding it to be sort of like either the next second M-rated title or just a regular romp in something they've never tried before. But keep going.
But my point is, we love the games they do. We love the things that they are capable of creating. We hate the political style bullshit that they pull in order to try and money sink their fans. That is the biggest bullshit. But moving on, we're gonna get back to the part of the games that we do like.
Yeah.
And that's nothing to do with the money, except when it involves the casinos, which we all hate.
I like how Shweebe just walked out in time from the casinos.
Yeah, she's like, nope, I'm the best. Fuck casinos. They're fun when they're optional. I hate when they make them mandatory, like 10-2. They're like, oh, by the way, you have to play this in order to get the good ending.
Yeah, fuck that.
Or 7, where you had to play it in order to move the storyline.
Yeah, it was weird.
It's like,
I
okay,
just passed that too.
yeah, casinos are amazing. They are fun side things. Dragon Quest knew this. Every single Dragon Quest from 1 all the way until I think it's like 14 now, has a casino in it without fail. But they're all optional. But what you get for doing it is worth it. Because the big bonuses, the rare items in it are so stupidly powerful. It is worth the effort of going to the side quests to get it. But it's still optional. You don't need to do it. You don't ever have to step foot in that fucking casino ever. But somewhere along the line, Final Fantasy VII decided, no, all mini games are mandatory. You must play them and beat
Oh
them
yeah,
at
those
least
were a
once.
pain. Oh my god, dude.
But that's the biggest reason why I don't like 7. Because the mandatory mini games. If I wanted mini games, I'd go play Mario Party.
Yeah.
And
Big
then I'd go
note to everyone, we
play
might be
five
doing
friends.
a Mario Party thing next year as like a celebration for like 200 episodes. Keep an eye out for that.
Okami also had quite a few fucking mini games, and oh my god,
That's true.
they were annoying. And some of them you had to do in order to get the power up that you need, so this one boss isn't so fucking annoying. And it's like, excuse me, can I please just move on?
See,
I
that's
don't mind mini games, but I prefer it to be kind of like what they did with Ni no Kuni when they had the fucking casino thing. I personally, game developers, if you are ever going to listen to this podcast, I pray that you do, because we're awesome people. But I fucking hate it when you add casinos in there and it's fucking mandatory to play. I hate
Persona 5.
that thing. It's overdone. It's overplayed. It's fucking bullshit. Don't add it, alright? I liked how they did it in Ni no Kuni 1. There was an option for it. It did nothing other than give you extra pretty stuff. Ooh.
it did give you one of the most powerful items in the game.
Yeah, but if you don't care about that and you just want the story from it, that's fine. They made it to where it was optional, which I love. Oh no, fucking Persona 5, which I fucking love, mind you. There's a whole goddamn chapter. It's straight up casino bullshit, and it's like...
All thanks to the ultimate waifu that you can't romance. Unless that's your second sin aside from we can't stream it. Well, you can stream, you just can't stream after the events in the 5th palace. No, not the 5th, the 6th palace. You can't stream after the last date of the 6th palace. I found that out.
Yeah. The only other game I played where casino made me want to punch kittens.
Oh, 13-2 was the other one. Fuck you.
Mentioned that.
Says.
Director's Cut.
Oh, yeah. Actually,
They had several casino levels where you had to play pinball or other games like that in order to collect enough coins to open the door to finish the level.
Ew.
I wanted to punch kittens over that. because you'd go into the room, and how they would show that you had enough coins is you would enter the room, step on the thing, and this machine would come down and then shake you to steal all your coins to fill the vault. And you'd watch a physical representation of how many coins are taken from you in order for you to get to the next platform.
Disgusting. Britt, you're kind of quiet about this. Any gears grinding in your system about Final Fantasy? Callie!
Not really. You guys already kind of pointed it out. Like, yeah, the gambling system in Final Fantasy VII's, oh god. It's just that I haven't played these games in like for so long. It's hard to like try to really remember everything. So while listening to you guys about it, I'm like, yeah, that totally sucked too. Oh, I do remember that as well. Yeah, I hated that too. Okay, well there's my point.
I mean, Britt, this is the curse that you get for having a little brother that's a critic and two siblings that are older than you that have a lot of gaming experiences that surpass both of us by just a few years.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the games that I played, I mean, even with Final Fantasy, it's like so long ago. It is wow.
I'm just amazed I can remember all this when I can't even remember small stuff. Just like, can you remember your godson's birthday? I can remember little who are you again? I'm Erwin. Oh right, Erwin. Your birthday is fuck, I don't care.
Like you were a thing? Really? Okay.
I remember the day your parents said that they made you. They just came back from a Green Day concert.
Nice.
It was in the back of a porta potty, not inside, just the back of a porta potty.
Okay, I was gonna say, ew.
That's actually less disgusting.
Tested?
No, it's just like they're behind a porta potty. They're just telling me so they're just behind a porta potty. They're just like, oh man, this Green Day concert is crazy. Georgia is a little bit plastered, so she just slides his pants down with the belt still on, and then it just goes down from there, just behind a porta potty with another couple inside the porta potty having sex in the porta potty. And then someone in front of the door of the porta potty getting a blowjob. So everybody's getting the something by that porta potty, which became the sex potty.
Wow.
Got money on my mind every day. Please don't play with mine, put it in the bag. Usually I can leave it in the past. You gon' make me have to show my ass. Ooh, I can love you till the sun comes up. Let me love your body down. You don't even really gotta ask. I'ma love you better than the rest. Ooh, say so.